Hello everybody, welcome to a Glitch Mentor Tournament brackets race between Gammachuu and BDI. This is their game 2 and they're both in the upper bracket with the top 16. Gammachuu is up a game in this one, so BDI is fighting for his tournament life. And they should be off soon. Full crystals in the light world. I usually like to see that. Taking different openers here. Gammachuu going straight to Saw's Closet. BDI looks like doing a Hobo and Hylia Island peak. I'm not sure if this is going to be the Hylia Island clip or the Hobo clip because I did not see what was on the island. Yeah, this is looking like the island, so yeah, it's worth getting the potion. What's better than a potion? A moon pearl found in Saw's Closet. Could be a while to get to that. There's a lot you can get done before committing to Saw's Closet. A lot of people will wait for a bow for that. Gammachuu has to spend the entire light world wondering when it's time to go to the dark world, and BDI does not have to worry about that yet. Bombs on the tree pole, not bad. A little magic too. Sometimes you just need a little bit to do something like Magic Bat. Having an item that can hit switches that requires magic, also good to have for that. Now we don't have any items yet except the bombs. A little high five from the two of them here. Taking different directions through the Lost Woods tells me that they intend to do different mountain climbs. Or maybe BDI intends to go to Kakariko, which is one of the two places this route could take them. Gammachuu's direction probably leading, yeah, here we go. We got the Lumberjack Death Mountain Ascent. Gets you straight up the mountain without rescuing the old man. Of course, he's going to want to drop down and do that eventually. But getting to peak Spectacle Rock is always a good call. This inbounds clip can be a little bit tricky. You have to do a pretty precise dash turn. Gammachuu, having nothing to hit switches with, will just skip Hera for now. Plenty of chances to check the Hera later on. BDI, meanwhile, in Kakariko, going after that density. Gammachuu has the Moon Pearl, so maybe a little more incentive to set up this mountain play. But BDI just found the bow, which is almost certainly going to lead them towards that Moon Pearl, because the Moon Pearl is sitting near Eastern Palace, and Eastern is a crystal. They'll go there when they're ready to do Eastern. Probably at a time when they expect not to die in Igor's. Nice dodging. Gammachuu is known for dodging and makes no exception for these dead rocks. BDI already on 3 bottles. That's pretty crazy. BDI can now check stick hid 3 times. Gammachuu looks like he's heading in that direction as well, so he'll be getting 2 bottles. Because he didn't peek the island on the way to Saw's Closet. He probably will do the island when he has South Shore Water Walk, so he can just run up to it. It's a little bit faster to do it that way. But you risk missing out on something early. BDI deciding to get those 50 rupees. That's something you wouldn't go after unless you're really confident with that clip. Because it's easy to just skip 50 rupees. Yeah, you can't transition there, but that's okay, you're not stuck. You just go up and move a little bit to the left and then you'll be fine. Wow, Gammachuu really making the most of that bee. Gets 480 rupees, already on pace to have Zora money by the time he exits this Kakariko play. $481 now. Look how rich he is. Desert's playing nice with keys today, so BDI can do big chest and then exit out the right side, which is a little bit faster. I wonder if Gammachuu will go after the 50 rupees. Probably not. He has the money he needs. Looks like BDI has found the map. I missed what was in the big chest. I'll catch it on Gammachuu's side. I'm not sure if the compass was found or not. BDI very close to Zora money on his side. Can probably just farm the rest from random drops. Hey, it was an item in the big chest. That means Landmo is infinitely put offable. No item there, just a crystal. Landmo is now an excuse to come back for the items you orphaned in the desert area. So when you have that book and the glove and the shovel, you can say, well, I had to do Landmo anyway, and you can come back and do those checks. BDI is probably about to head up the mountain. There's a little bit more to their name than Gammachuu did at the time, which means we'll get to see the inside of Hera and maybe East Death Mountain. Ooh, this is an old setup. It's a little bit dangerous on 4 hearts because it puts you on the top of Death Mountain. Not the top, but it puts you on the bottom where the dead rocks are and the cabbages, and you can get killed here because you can't even see where they are until you're on screen. Makes it in, but he still has to survive the way out. Ooh, good use of the boomerang there, just in time to turn in the old man. Going inside to get the heal, it's probably a good idea. Saves time over dying. I'd expect to see both runners do South Shore next. I don't think BDI is ready for Eastern Palace. I think it's a little dangerous right now to go to Eastern. That's okay, because it's not immediately necessary to go to the Dark World. You can put that one off for a bit. I'd much rather have that glove that's in the dam that Gammachuu just found. The glove lets you do back of escape, lets you feel bad about doing early desert. I like Gammachuu switching between bow and bombs to try and get the quickest kill on that last Moldorm. Hook shot found in Mini Moldorm Cave. Very good find. Nobody complains about a hook shot. And I know Gammachuu is not a hoverer, so it's extra relieving to see that. Doesn't have to worry about Hookshot Cave specifically. Or have to take that Moldorm bounce plunge later on if Swamp is a pendant. Another thing Hookshot is good for is doing Tower of Hera easily. I don't know if BDI hovers. I'm not very familiar with them. I think I know BDI is mostly a multi-world player, but that could mean many things. I didn't know you could stun. Is that only the red boomerang that can do that? It's a short stun on the Tektite. Ooh, that's not a good death. I think BDI probably would have been better off just bonking the rock that had the fairy on it. If you boomerang the rocks from the left side, and then you bonk them, you'll instantly catch the fairy. Hey, love to see the overall glitches and HMG tournament winners. Very soon we'll be getting No Logic tournament winner on there as well. Oh no, don't go there. Apparently there's something on the island that BDI wants. Probably the best place to teleport is actually on the other side. Oh my god, that's gonna... yeah, that's not good. You can teleport up near Tower of Hera, and that puts you in the clouds in a much safer location. VDI is doing probably a wise move of just giving up on the mountain for now. Being in two-shot territory from Tektites is not really a good place to be. I didn't catch what was actually on the island to make BDI want it. I wouldn't be surprised if Gammachuu goes to Hookshot Cave next. This could be his first glimpse at the Dark World map. And if he finds a mirror inside of Death Mountain, Dark Death Mountain, he can mirror and do Light Death Mountain. Interesting to see him taking this no glitches route around, because it gives him... It doesn't check Hera. He hasn't actually been in Hera yet. It's a little bit safer to be down here once you've made it across the mountain. But it's a little less efficient if you're also going to do Spiral Cave. At least I think it is. Maybe Gamma knows something I don't. BDI getting some health here is really good. And has a little bit more incentive to go to Eastern now. There's some good stuff on the mountain, but it's not really like... we don't even know if anything that Gammachuu found here is required yet. Bombos and books showed up. It was the King of Burna that BDI was after. That certainly would have made the rest of this safer, but he doesn't have enough magic to use it. Alright, first glimpse of Dark World map. We got Thieves Town, Swamp, and Ice as our pendants. That means potentially Flipperless Seed. The hookshot is even more of a relief to find when you're not a hover. Hookshot Cave, indeed. Gammachoo's first Dark World check. I guess Spiral Cave last actually makes sense when you have the mitts. That's probably why Gammachuu chose to do Death Mountain that way. Because Spiral Cave puts him back on the bottom of the mountain, which is where he would get into the Dark World. Unfortunately, it does mean he has to do Super Bunny Cave the long way. I wasn't really watching BDI's item collection, but I saw the big key and small key upstairs, so it was definitely mire locked. The BDI now has a hookshot and can take this route across the mountain. Doesn't have the mitts to follow into the Dark World, but it doesn't look like Gammachuu found anything there. So Gamma now heading into Eastern. A full clearable crystal, but partially out of logic. Oh, that is bottle number 4 for BDI. BDI still really wants that Berna, which is a little bit less valuable now that he has the cape. But Berna does have a property being a weapon for blind, which they actually don't have yet, which means they could do Thieves Town. But I don't think they will be so inclined to do Thieves Town once they see it dependent. And blind with just Perna is kind of hard anyway. If you don't manage your magic. I think there might be some potions in their bottles that would help out. I know Gammachuu got a green from the waterfall. So BDI now heading to Eastern and Saha, which will get him his... Oh, we haven't done Hobo yet. So this if they do go to Eastern after this will get them their Moon Pearl. Having a bit of an arrow slap fight with this guard here. Gammachuu's having some bad luck in the back of Eastern. Sometimes the popos get in your way. Oh, BDI needs to Haro. Okay, so if BDI watches this back, I hope that they learn something, which is if you see yourself hitting that transition, start holding select, and when you come out of the transition, you will be able to save and quit in the first frame. That means if you have any progress under your belt, you don't hard lock. You don't have to wait the minute or two that it takes to resolve. And it's a little faster than resetting, even if you don't have progress to lose. I think BDI is now going for a backup strat, which is to take a fake flipper from this out of bounds area. There's a free setup there where you start on the bottom of the wall, just hugging the bottom on the left side, and then you transition right. And while you're transitioning, you hold up left, and that will put you into a fake flipper. Sets you up perfectly. So back of escape for BDI. Didn't realize we hadn't seen that yet. Gammachoo's going into the portal here, which is a setup for bombing yourself out of it. You can do it without the hammer. So he's bombing the grass because he learned a cut grass visual cue. That's what you have to do when you don't have a sword. Alright, I think he's too low. There we go. That's much better. It was actually too high, not too low. Okay, this is... Don't dash off of that. Don't... Okay, good. Dashing off of the slope when you're straddling it like that will put you in a screen wrap. Which is not really what you want in this screen. Ooh! Wow, that's a sword on the uncle that Gammachuu might not be getting for a bit. So maybe it's a good thing that BDI hasn't gotten Moon Pearl yet. I think the sword will probably incentivize Eastern a little bit more now. Because it's a little safer with a sword when you have dark rooms. So Gammachuu does have the medallion, but does not have a sword. I don't think he would want to go in anyway, but BDI might have the option to open that when he's there. Ooh, Ice Rod too, and the escape. You don't want to see Gamma putting that off too long, because the Ice Rod is required in this seed. I did not catch if there was an item in Dark Cross. I want to say there is. I feel like I've seen the map and the small key from Gamma. Maybe I'm wrong. Alright, here's BDI going into Saw's closet, getting the Moon Pearl. Maybe attempting Eastern here. We'll see if the Moon Pearl is enough incentive to turn away. I imagine that the dark rooms are solid enough that with the sword they should feel pretty comfortable with it. Nope, we're leaving. Come back later when it's in logic, maybe a little faster. We did see Gamma have a little bit of trouble in the dark room in the Eastern, having to hookshot enemies, getting some bad RNG in the Greenies room. BDI may not have to deal with that later. Eastern is also really easy to get back to. Alright, we got everybody's favorite 3 shields and no swords for Gammachuu. Surprised to see him going to use it all. Because he doesn't have a weapon for blind. And he can't leave the dungeon without either getting fake Dark World or walking out. I don't think he intends to go to the back at all. BDI has a little bit more to work with here. Having a sword and cane of Berna. Yeah, Gammo just has to walk out. Really nothing you can do about this. I think I would be inclined to put this off if I have the mitts, because it's so easy to get back to. And you can do it with the smith chain if you decide to do that later. We'll see what BDI does, though. They did open the front. Ooh, Gamma doing some super fun dashes in here. No muffins dash, though. If you're gonna dash an extra time in Sea House, do it out the door. BDI does go into Thieves. Gammachuu going to Smith Chain, but no mirror. So this looks like just the top of the world, which might just be bumper ledge and then save and quit, because you can't enter Skullwoods without falling in a pit. Ooh, we're gonna continue on. Yeah, are we gonna fall in a pit here? That's interesting. The odds are pretty good that you'll find a key. The Gammachuu cannot enter the middle of Skullwoods at all. So he's committed to just dropping in here and getting whatever's here. And then saving and quitting out, which is an interesting way to do Skull, because it's... the middle is really slow anyway. BDI also choosing to walk out of Thieves. I think at least 2 items were found in the front, so there's little reason to go to the back right now. Gammachuu finds the bug net. That is item 1 for Skull. Decent chance everything else here is a key. He now has a 50-50 key in the middle, so it's pretty safe to leave this behind. Nowhere else to go but to turn in the smith. But where does he go from there? BDI is going mid first, so this is a Skullwoods check we haven't seen. Again, it's a 50-50 key. And if it's not a key, it could still be the compass. I don't think that was seen. Gammachuu could drop down and do desert. Not the actual dungeon, but the checkerboard cave. And Bombos tablet. BDI does find item 2, so once he's through with Skull, he'll be able to come back in go mode. Maybe a little earlier if he wants to check Ped, but I don't see checking Ped. And a seed with Pendant Swamp. Ooh, that's a sword on checkerboard. So that's Gammachuu's first sword. BDI got his sword from the uncle. Where do you go from here? Did we see Bombos tablet? I swear I saw Gammachuu just walk into checkerboard and leave. Oh, of course. What do you do with the sword? You kill a Moldorm. Gammachuu hasn't even been here yet. Middle first for skull makes sense if you're going to dash out. Because at least it leaves you in the right place. You don't want to do front first and then middle and then have to leave. Is this going to be a smith pickup? No, BDI hasn't done the South Darkhold yet. Ooh, Gammachuu making really good use of the cape. This is one of those things that people who play a lot of rando might be used to doing, but people who do a lot of speedruns will just think, okay, I'm doing the NMG Moldorm fight. And they won't really think outside the box. The last item in Hera is still inside the box in the basement. So that small key is not really safe to spend in Swamp just yet. Well, kind of safe because he had the Meyer medallion. Nobody does hair. Ooh. Well, that's a ether tablet with a hammer. Which is funny because both of them have the fighter sword. But they have different fighter swords. So the hammer is accessible if they just do each other's checks. Gammachuu is going back? What is this? This is interesting. Is this just how to get to, like, Bombo's tablet? The exit out of Swamp's front door and then walk over to Bombo's tablet? Gammachuu found the sword in Checkerboard Cave. BDI found the sword in the Uncle. Ooh, Gammachuu getting an up teleport there. The bomb clip and the dash clip are both tricky in their own ways. And which one you choose depends on whether you have a high tolerance for this kind of finicky, like, sword buffering, or if you would rather not have to not have to learn how to select buffer. Yeah, that was pretty funny, teleporting into the fire. I think that might have been just like a panic teleport, like, oh shoot, I need to go now. Whether it's up or down, it doesn't matter. I can't stay here. This is just flooding Swamp? Which is interesting because Gammachuu knows where the hammer is. And Swamp's a pendant. I am very curious about this play. Why are we flooding Swamp? I'm sure there's some plan. I'm sure there's a reason that he's doing this. That I'll find out later. Oh, you think maybe you forgot the hammer pigs were there? But he got there and had a time to think about the hammer pigs. And when you get there, you can go left or right. Ooh, synchronized Kiki skipping. BDI gets there first. Gamma not far behind. Gammachuu gained a little bit of time on BDI through movement. It's interesting to see them side by side. Let's see if they realize that the Bowlock side is completely skippable in this layout. Yeah, Gammachuu knows. BDI doesn't. Oh no, BDI is going to get 2 small keys here. That he doesn't need. Now you can really see the difference being able to skip this makes. Because BDI is going to have to Death Warp out. I think Gammachuu will probably finish the back of pod before BDI even gets there, huh? It's not quite, but pretty close. Now, Gammachuu skipping the Bowlock side does mean that he has to hammer up. But he already knows he's saving and quitting out of here because the hammer is not here. So he can hammer jump and not have to worry about being able to walk out or not. Definitely shouldn't have to Death Warp. Both of them on hammer jump bridge at the same time. Ooh, misses the hammer jump. Wonder what went wrong there. Ah, that looks much better. Shovel. Ooh. So, good thing about that shovel is it might lead BDI back to the desert overworld to check Checkerboard Cave to get the sword. Might be a while before he gets back to Ether Tablet though, because BDI doesn't know the hammer's there. At least I don't think he does. Looks like another go with the hobo for Gamma. Gamma hasn't actually done this yet. BDI tried this and soft locked. So we haven't seen what the item is. Just a heart piece. BDI is getting a little bullied by the Knonkos here. Guess Gamma immediately follows the shovel because you kind of have to, right? You went to pod and you didn't find anything else. Oh, it's leading to a sword. Well, that's good. That's the hammer. So in Gammachuu's perspective, that's hammer and pod. BDI could get that too. If BDI continues on, we'll see Tempered Sword for them. So what do you do when you find the hammer? GT is always a good play if you have access to Ice Armos. BDI is resetting here. I didn't catch if the Moldorm item messed up their altitude or not. Two small keys in the front, which makes this a little more likely to be in logic. It's probably guaranteed, actually. There's only one small key that can be fire rod locked, and only one small key that can be upstairs. And there's the third, so that's for sure in logic. And the big key. So now BDI knows where the hammer is, but the question is, when are they going to go to that desert area to get their swords? I think they're just going to clean up... Oh, I thought they were going to clean up... Ooh. I thought they would clean up Graveyard Ledge Kingstone, which I wasn't sure if they did or not, but looks like we're going to Hookshot Cave. BDI has not been there yet, but it's... Don't think it came up with anything for Gamma. The Gamma did just find the mirror in GT. So what the mirror does is when Gamma finishes GT, if there's a fire source here, he'll be able to mirror and get Tempered Sword from the uncle and Ice Rod from the escape. Because that is another thing that Gamma's missing. He does have to go to the escape at some point in this seed. Getting the hammer from the shovel is nice. By hammer I mean sword, Master Sword that gives him the hammer on the tablet. But he still has to go to the escape to get the Ice Rod. Ooh, that was almost a really nice Ormos. Got a little bit messed up at the end, but that's all he can do here. No cane, no hammer. Sorry, no cane, no fire rod, no fire source for climbing. Now where's BDI going here? Probably a pyramid. Neither of them has been there yet. I think what we really want to see for BDI is a fire source. So as I was saying earlier is that the ability to do desert when it's nothing, it's an excuse to go back to the checks he left behind there. And that's what BDI needs. There's two swords waiting for them there. There's one at Shovel and one at Checkerboard Cave. Shoutouts to the shield, by the way. Oh, no, 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 no. Not there. Okay. At least that doesn't soft lock you. If you can't remember where to transition, just imagine where Pyramid Fairy is. You can see the wall on the pyramid, and you know that Pyramid Fairy's on that wall. So you know that that's where you need to be. Gammachuu is about to get the Tempered Sword and the Ice Rod here. Gets a flute. Not really sure if that does much. Wow, Gamma is not happy about that sword location. Because I bet he was feeling really good about getting that shovel out of pod. Be like, yeah, required double dip of pod. Nope, you could just go here. This will get BDI back into Village of Outcasts, but I'm not really sure what the plan is. Because there's no hammer yet. This could be rescue the smith, activate flute, and then do purple chest. I think that would be a pretty reasonable thing to do, and purple chest would lead BDI into the desert area. But we'll hope that he follows through with this. And there's Gamma's Ice Rod. Okay, I'm having a little trouble getting out, but knows what to do. If you're too deep in, just hold up as you exit and it'll pop you out. And you'll have to exit again, but at least the second time you exit, you'll be able to walk out. I think Ice Palace is next for Gamma. Oh, turn a mushroom. Alright, here's BDI getting what they need. I don't think purple chest was done. That could be done last though, because that's just a flute away. So it's going to be 2 consecutive swords. Let's see Bomba's tablet first, which it's funny, I don't remember seeing Gamma do this, but I'm sure he did. Oh, you don't want to be on the second Bomba. Okay, good. Makes me nervous, and I see somebody about to teleport on a soft lock. Just a little bit of money. And then shovel for another sword. Nice little sword sandwich for BDI. Gamma activating flute makes me think there will be a purple chest turn in from him as well. I think if I was him, I would have done this before turning in the mushroom. But that's just a small thing. Maybe activating the flute was an afterthought, like, oh, I'm here, might as well activate it. Gammachuu can do hammer pegs together with purple chest, and I guess it's good that BDI didn't do this because didn't have the hammer at the time. Alright, where are we going? Is this Graveyard Ledge? Must be. BDI doesn't have to do any fancy tomb raiding, we just have the mitts. Looks like we're gonna do it anyway. Why not? Oh, purple chest at the cane. So just fire rod for go mode. Wow, Gamma actually did not do Bombos Tablet. I have questions. What was that? What was that Bombos Tablet slide? Ooh, I think we're gonna see Ice Palace. Ice Palace and Mire. So Ice Palace is a pendant, and if there's Fire out here, that could be really good for BDI. Because Gamma has a lot of reason not to go here. Having found the cane, he can now go into TR, knowing that he's not going to leave behind the Fire Rod. And he can go to Mire and full clear it. But Mire is kind of risky because you don't have a fire source to do the bow locks, or do the fire lock side, which means the key is there, you're not clearing this dungeon. And if there's an item there, you're leaving it behind. I'm not really sure which one's better for Gamma, doing TR or Mire. One of them is a dungeon you can full clear, but you can also leave behind the fire rod if you're unlucky. Or you can get screwed out of the big key. And the other one is a dungeon you can definitely not clear, but it's really easy to get back to, and you're definitely not going to leave behind the fire rod. Or you could just go to Ice. Alright, it looks like the big key was available. Small key is probably on Vidi. I'm having a little indecision there for a second. I think this is the correct play. Go to the back first, then go back in. I didn't catch if the item was the first chest or if it was a map or compass. It was a heart piece. Okay, yeah, I definitely got Mire. You can get lucky and have this be the second item. It's pretty unlikely just because when the big key is found and an item, there's very few places left where a small key can be placed. And because we know they can't be fire locked. So the odds are pretty high that one of them just gets placed on Vidi. In fact, there's so few places left that Vidi is either Vidi or Big Chest is definitely a small key. There just aren't enough places left in the dungeon. Oh, that was close. Oh, that's interesting. So, not a key, but also not the item. Big chest is definitely a key now, and there's definitely a fire rod locked item. Or a fire locked item, I should say. We wouldn't worry about the item if it was just fire rod locked. The Not Gamma really doesn't want to see the lamp show up. Yeah, actually, it's Gamma leaving here makes tons of sense because definitely the item is not. Oh, Gamma's going into ice too. So any advantage BDI could get from this play is pretty much vaporized by Gamma going here as well. Lobby chest. Lobby chest is a key. Basically, the keys. There's only three chests. There's 3 keys still left in the dungeon, and they are in lobby, big chest, and the one next to the big chest because there's nowhere else they can be. Those are the only remaining locations that can be small keys. The map and the item are in firelock chests. You probably know enough of the logic to figure that out just by knowing that if the big key isn't fire locked, then the small key can't be either. And then just counting remaining chests. It's a pretty rare layout where you do the first 2 chests and find an item and the big key. And then Vidya is also not a small key. Like it's a 1 in 4 chance that Vidya was not a small key. And Gamma rolled the 1 in 4. So now he doesn't have to come back in until Lamp shows up. Well, it would be really interesting if Ice Palace turns up the Lamp. Because BDI could go back to a whole bunch of locations that Gamma has already gone. Like GT. If Gamma goes back to GT, it's just for Tile Room. If BDI goes back to GT, it's all of GT, so a little more likely to go there. I guess Gammachuu can climb if the lamp shows up. So I guess that's not so bad. I forgot that the big key was not firelocked. Ooh, BDI counts items and leaves. You think Gammachuu does the same thing? Because Green Pendant is here. So it's not like you're leaving nothing behind. BDI looks like they might be headed in the direction of Purple Chest. Oh yeah, if there's a key on Cold Stare, that makes the Green Pendant not the cane. But it doesn't make it not Fire Rod. It's still risky. I don't know if I like it either. Gammachuu's gonna go for it. I think he had quite a bit of a faster time going through here because of the cane. Looks like that was over in a heartbeat. I wonder if BDI is just now realizing that the pendant in ice was green. Probably making sure Thieves Town is exitable. I'm thinking BDI feels a little bit behind. But I'm surprised that he's not just playing for Ped. I think he'd play for Ped, right? If you're going in. Yeah, I really like these cape strats Gamma's pulling out. Hey look, Don, you can make double rod HMG. BDI does not have Samaria. It's in the purple chest. BDI has done the Smith, though, so not too far off. If they finish Thieves Town and don't Death Warp out, they'll be able to do purple chest next. Gammachuu going back to clean up pod. Double hammer. Okay, that's a good question. What item should be doubled in HMG? I think double swamp. Just put 2 swamps on the game. Twice the fun. Nothing turning up here for BDI. So Gammachuu can turn in the green pendant after this. By mirroring twice. And BDI can do hammer pegs and purple chest together. At last getting that King of Samaria. What we really want to see for BDI to catch up is the lamp before Mire. But it's going to be hard to justify not going into a crystal dungeon you can probably clear. No, that's not purple chest. What's going on here? I don't like this at all. BDI's never going to get the cane. How does he get back here? It's like also just not doing Spike Cave. Doing some skips to probably try and gain some time back. That's good. I realized Gambit just quick swapped to Hammer and quaked. But I'd like to think that there were some dead rocks that had insulted his mother. Gammachuu now going to TR, which makes sense. TR was like the other goodish option that he had. I'm actually surprised he went to ice before this. I didn't catch what was on green pendant, but it doesn't look like it was fire. It was bombs, alright. So far so good for BDI, not getting that green pendant. And until the flippers show up, we don't have to worry about the other one. Swamp can't have the lamp though, if flippers show up. It is not lamp locked, like it can be sometimes. So Swamp can be lamp locked if you don't have the mirror. That's the rule. If you don't have the mirror, Swamp is lamp locked because you need access to the old man to get in. Proper Swamp state. It can also just be locked behind Vitreous's small key. But Vitreous did not have a small key, so it's not lamp locked in the seed. Yeah, the mirror was here in GT. I'm not sure how much good that does them, other than Gammachuu had it earlier and had a little bit more efficiency doing things like the Smith chain. Mirror might make purple chest a little better because you can just mirror and flute. And you have the mitt, so it's easy to get back. But it's kind of hard to psychologically get back there when you've skipped it twice. Gammachuu is doing an interesting thing with TR, which is staying in logic, which might be a good idea when you're missing the lamp. If the game doesn't want him to be here without Fire Rod, it's going to make it pretty clear very soon. And unfortunately, no chance for BDI to get any advantage going here because he did not enter with fire or the cane. So I had the same equipment Gammachuu had going in. Oh, that sucks. Okay, I think this is a setup for a bomb jump, but actually you can get a damage boost off of that. Mini Helmsaur. Oh, the lamp is here in TR. That's so bad. It's probably locking the Fire Rod. Now, what if BDI goes to TR before Meyer? That could be interesting. That is not Rule of Fire. Come on. That is, why is that there material? What really sucks is if this is like why it's good that Gammachuu took this route is because that big chest is really hard to get to if you do Laser Bridge first. But it's one of the things that could have had the Fire Rod. So it probably would have been unwise to do Laser Bridge first. When that's specifically the thing you're looking for. Is Gammachuu reading the logic? That must be it, right? Gammachuu deciding that the Fire Rod can't be on Laser Bridge? Because you don't just walk there and then leave if you don't know for sure that it's not there. Probably needed the time that he spent in that roller coaster room just to think about the logic. Oh, here's Gamma going back into Meyer. Yeah, maybe he needed to know it was on Crystal Roller to know what the logic was. I definitely know that I would not have been that confident to skip those, even if I was pretty sure. I would have opened them anyway, just to be certain. And then if the flippers show up, I'd agonize over it for the rest of the seed. So Gamma should know that these are keys, but it's pretty hard to keep track of Meyer stuff. Listen's a key. That one he just walked past is a key, and the lobby chest is a key. He needs to go for the firelock chest. One of them is definitely an item. Oh, no, this is live game 2. Hello, Dawn. Welcome to a live race between Gammachuu and BDI. I don't know what you mean by that. Is there something wrong with my audio? Okay, good. I don't know what you mean by had to voice. Oh, he was talking in game 1. Okay, here's a kind of Samaria for BDI. It's probably not going to help. Because Gamma is basically doing all the things that were outs for BDI. Yeah, Gammachuu put on clean audio for us. Ooh, BDI looked like he was going to do Mire and then decided that fireless Mire is not a good idea. So maybe TR? Which would be good. Because the flippers are... Oh, the flippers are here. Oh, that's so bad. That's so bad. I guess you go back to desert and clean that up. It's not an item, but this would explain why Gammachuu was so willing to go back here. Like I said, desert, leaving behind Landmo is a really good excuse to come back for your orphan checks. Remember when I was saying that Lamp could be in Swamp? Well, Lamp seems to have been locking Swamp in a very different way. Oh, sorry about that. I tripped over my cord. I hope that didn't make a very loud noise. BDI is doing the right thing, though. At least, you know, I think he is. Well, this is interesting. Gamma seems to be checking Ped. Probably wants to know if he needs to fix his dungeon ID while in Swamp. It's a very smart play. Gammachuu is definitely going to Swamp next, though. That's exactly why you'd be checking Ped here. And Pet is dead. That means Gamma gets to do some really fancy things with Swamp. Like, not actually do Swamp, just get the chest inside. BDI not punished for skipping Cold Stare. That's nice to see. Because that would be really annoying to get back to. Gammachuu should probably route Swamp in a way that gets a key back for Hera, which is pretty easy to do when you're opening all the chests in Hera State, because you're definitely going to get the Swamp key in one of them if you do all the chests. Oh no. Gammachuu getting bullied again. Alright, BDI is also taking a good route through TR that's going to get the lamp. I don't even know what the proper way is anymore. The proper way is you don't fall in the middle pit like you see a lot of people doing. You fall in the pit that's under the bumper. Because that puts you right next to the Dodongo and then you can kill it. Oh, is Gamma fixing subpixels? That's good. That's exactly why I don't do that strat anymore. Oh no, BDI's just getting bullied here. On one hit. No! Okay, let's see. Gammachuu not... Yeah, let's go. We're Harestating Swamp. Love to see it. And there's a sword here. Well, that could have been Hammer and Swamp if you really wanted to. Oh, and Gammachuu having flooded earlier actually gets stair kicked back. It's a natural consequence of doing Diver Down after resetting the flood state of the first floodgate room. The good thing is that BDI is sticking with it. I would probably just use a medallion here. Because you don't want to have to go chasing around this pokey. If you're not getting the pokey on the first couple spins, you're probably saving time with the medallion. Another good thing about Harestating Swamp is you get to open the big chest without having to hit Swamp Big Key. Because you already have the Hair Big Key. Now I'm not sure I would be doing back of Swamp before left side. I think if it were me, I would be doing left side first because it guarantees that I'm going to get my Hair Key back. Unless I know that there's probably just dungeon items there, which actually might be the case. Well, actually, it does look like there might be dungeon. Oh, wow. He's checking his items. That won't work here. Wow, really is just nothing left in Swamp? Okay. Oh, that's unfortunate. Well, BDI got the important thing here, which is the lamp. So, was there really nothing here? Where are we supposed to go? Is it GT climb? Maybe BDI will go back there and do GT climb. That's definitely where Gamma is headed. But I also understand finding the flippers in a re-dip of mire and feeling like you have to follow them. Green Pendant's dead, so actually BDI is pretty safe from having skipped Cold Stare. And maybe if BDI goes straight to GT, it'll get a little bit closer. Because it's really looking like that's what it is. I don't know what's left. We've seen Thieves' Town. We've seen all 3 pendant dungeons. We saw both items in Skullwoods through BDI. Gammachuu is haunted by the second item in Skull. Knows that there's a chance that it's in the middle, and it is. Tile room and then climb. Yeah, you don't want to get screwed over by the fire rod in tile room. That is a famously bad location. And when you know the fire rod is here, you probably just do this, right? It'd be pretty funny if the fire rod was actually here. But I trust Gammachuu's logic read. Wow, it is fire rod in tile room. Alright. That means you could get that right after purple chest and never get the lamp. That's pretty good. But you're never going to do that. You're never going to go back to GT just to do tile room. The sea was awful in a very different way. It was in a... Oh god, my opponent could have just done purple chest before GT way. Perfectly reasonable thing to do in a C where you get early mitts. A little less reasonable knowing that the mirror was in GT, so you're probably double dipping it. Gammachuu probably feels good about the mirror being in GT now because he knows that having the cane going into GT is very unlikely. The BDI will be able to full clear Mire and get the flippers, which is bad news. Ooh, nice zero cycle Trinex for Gamma. Hardest part of doing Buttersword Trinex is remembering you have Buttersword and need to quick swap earlier than usual. But Gamma knew exactly what to do here. That was a really fast pace too as well. Trinex hardly moved at all. Ooh, this is spicy. Good old Scheduled Gammachuu. This can hard lock if you do it wrong. But he takes it safe and turns up early to make sure that he's not going to get nudged backwards. Very good. And this is it. He just has to climb GT now. Which looks like he saved for last. Unless I just missed a really fast GT climb. I don't think I did though. Gamma is just very good at the game. I don't think he knew that many glitches. I would argue that BDI probably knew more glitches than Gamma did going in, being a multi-world player. BDI getting some big bait in. Here, fire locked. If only those flippers were just fire locked in GT, that would have been so much better. Nice Silver's Lamo for Gamma. The Silver's Vidi for BDI. This will be Desert Cleanup. I think that was a double. And a single. Oh yeah, there's that cape again. God, I love these cape strats this game is using. I guess it makes sense for BDI to go back here to probably clean up pod. I'll have to pay the monkey though. Oh, and Eastern hasn't been done. Wow. BDI is really committed to staying in logic here. Oh no! Just a little shy, tickling Ganon's ankles with that silver arrow. That would have done it. Alright, nice. Freezing him on the single torch out before the second one goes out. For a final hit. And Gammachuu finishes with a time of 1:36.22. GG's to Gamma. Terrible seed. Pretty sure we saw every location between them that wasn't fire rod locked. I think the only things Gamma didn't do were Back of Thieves and the second item in Skullwoods, which we know was not fire rod locked.
Hey, thank you. GG's. Uh, yeah. You know, I that fire rod location was probably the biggest thing that really felt really bad about. The hammer I didn't feel too bad, but just right. Yeah, like I'm thinking, in what world is somebody gonna do mirrorless purple chest before even making their way into
Sorry, I was
GT?
muted. Oh no. Anyway, I was
Wait,
just
what?
talking about how bad the mirror location was because it makes you not do fire rod. I was muted on my stream.
Yeah, I mean, you're most likely not gonna be making your way into GT with a cane on hand the first dip.
Yeah, and you're not coming
So
back without the lamp, which is in
no,
TR. I love going to
and
TR with that fire rod.
yeah, and I was thinking that, like, okay, I need the fire off for Goma for a while, and then I pick up the lamp in GTR. I'm like, okay, I should probably go do GT now. But at that point, I'm thinking, let me just go finish off Mire. There's one item I left behind, and just finish off Desert. And then I get the flippers. I'm like, do I go for that or just go for the GT climb? And I really should have just gone for GT. It's something I have to do anyways. And I went for, like, just go for swamp, just go over there. It's probably there. And no, it just wasn't. I just felt really bad about that full clear.
Yeah, it's hard to choose between. I was talking about this when it happened. When you find the cane, you have to choose between Fireless Mire and then potentially orphaning a location, or the Turtle Rock Dip. And I
Yeah,
think they were both fine because Turtle Rock Dip, you know you're not leaving Fire Rod behind, but you also know you're not finishing the dungeon if it's not there. But at least Mire, you have a chance to finish the dungeon. But if you
yeah,
do TR first, you might be in better shape because you can climb GT after.
yeah. Just it was just, at that moment, like, I don't know. I just felt so bad. Maybe my opponent skips it. I don't know. I was just kind of thinking so much at that point towards the end. Like, just, I don't know. Go for density, go over there, go to swamp, go ice, rule of fire. I'm also thinking in the back of my mind. And without fire sword for so long, it just, please fire sword somewhere. I really wish that flippers went on top of GT. That way I would have just completely skipped out on that.
Yeah, it would have been nice. It was kind of cool though getting to do Swamp without worrying about the pendant.
Oh, I was worried too. Like, I knew I didn't need the pendant because I did a pet check right before. If I killed Argus from there, what happens?
You just save and quit out. You can't leave, but you're not hard locked. It's not like vanilla.
Oh, so the game wouldn't give me like another crystal then?
No, it would give you. So it would drop the Hera crystal if you didn't have it already, but because Hera crystal's weird, it would actually drop out of bounds and you wouldn't be able to pick it up. If it was any other dungeon, like if it was Mire, you can actually get the Mire crystal from Argus. It's a weird thing you can do. If it's a pendant, you can pull Ped by doing Argus in Mire state and then coming back for Argus.
Oh
You're
wow.
usually going to do that in Moldorm's room, though.
Yeah. Yo, GG's BDI.
Yo, GG's.
GG. Terrible seed, though. Do you want to know where
Yeah.
the fire rod was?
I'm guessing it was in Swamp.
You'd think so. It definitely could have been, but it was actually in Tile Room.
Uh,
So yeah, you're set up. You get the mirror, right? In GT. And then you do purple chest because you don't do purple chest without a mirror. And then you never come back to GT because you can't do anything there except Tile Room for the longest time.
Yeah, and it's not the most time. It's not really worth it just for that one check. And no, there's nothing. Okay, save and quit.
yeah. I'll kind of ignored that as well. I'm assuming you did. Or did you get it?
Yeah, I ignored it for quite a while. I should have gone back when I picked up the lamp. Uh, but yeah, I just went for swamp.
Well, my sort of like strategy going in was I knew I would definitely be worse at like execution wise, so I did some let's go into this pendant dungeon and full clear it because why not? And it didn't end up working out.
You were the first to die. So I'm curious though. You decided not to do green pendant cold stare. Is it because you didn't know the pendant was green, or because you just felt like it was not worth it?
It's because I thought Thieves was green, and then when I was going to Thieves, I rechecked the map and saw Ice was green.
Oh, but your heart sank about that because now you can't even go for ped, which ended up saving you time. Green pendant was absolutely nothing. Gamma checked ped, so we knew that wasn't it either for a while.
Yeah, what was I gonna say? I just blanked. Oh, there was nothing in the pendant dungeons, were there? I don't think there was anything in Thieves Town. No.
It was like just rupees and arrows and stuff. Nothing actually
Yeah.
useful.
Oh, you had different swords, by the way, for the first sword. We knew where hammer was, and we knew where two swords were, and both of you were on fighter sword, and it was just like, okay, who's gonna get to the other person's sword first?
What was my initial? I watched a race earlier today, and the person went. They got a powder into Kakariko, and I'm thinking, at the start of this race, okay, I'm gonna do my initial route back to Saha, and after this, just go Uncle chest saving quit. That way, you at least get some magic, and just in case I get powder or something into Kakariko, so I could do that check and not orphan it. And of course, the sword was just sitting. I was like, they're right, Uncle chest around there, one of those six.
Yeah, it was
chest,
Uncle Chess, and the ice rod was there too, so you did have to go there eventually.
I would have most likely ignored that though. Even with a sword, I'm like, that feels like the meta these days. Just kind of ignore front of Hyrule or maybe combo it. I have no idea.
I think you might have actually been like kind of hurt by doing the early sword, because you would get your hammer earlier and never want to go back to the escape.
Yeah. So that's something I would have been definitely pushed away from.
Oh yeah, any other thoughts? This is the end of the tournament for BDI. How was it?
It was good fun. I learnt way more than I thought I would.
There's a lot to learn, but it turns out you don't need to. It doesn't even really take 6 weeks to learn, but having the 6 weeks really helps, and having the mentors really helps. So I think anybody can learn in this environment, and even on your own. If you miss out on mentor tournament, don't be afraid to just dive in. We now have like 26 more mentors than we used to have, so maybe hit one of them up.
All the mentors have been super helpful over the weeks. For my mentored games, I've gotten a different mentor each time to learn as much as possible, and it's been very helpful.
Oh yeah, I agree with that so much. Taking at least more than one mentor will help you a lot in developing your own style and learning as much as you can.
Yeah, it's very interesting to see like what people are like some people were like super good, like, oh yeah, let's go into Turtle Rock and like win because they're good at routing and reading the seed, or like, oh, here's some tidbits on like execution for next time and things like that. It's like everyone has their own different tips and tricks.
Yes, it's true. And also, I'm just curious, like, what do you plan to do after this? Do you plan to do more racing, or are you going to go back to casual play, multi-worlds, that sort of thing?
I sort of prefer multi-worlds, like in a VC chatting with people, but I might do some races every now and then.
I would
Maybe
recommend
do some ladder runs.
I would recommend co-op. I think co-op's a really great way to do casual games. So you and another person do a seed together and share info.
Yeah, that sounds interesting. I haven't touched that or watched any of those.
Yeah, well,
that is something I plan to do as well when I do multi every now and then. But now that I learned these glitches, I told myself, well, I'll rarely ever be in PK mode because now I know how to do all these glitches. So there's that. But I've been enjoying the glitches, all these glitches. It's been kind of on my mind now when I play non-glitch modes, and it's really fun. I really enjoy it.
All right, well, that would be all for tonight. I hope everybody enjoyed the show between BDI and Gammachuu. Make sure to give these runners a follow, and with that, we will be off. Good night, everybody.
No, thank you for this restream.
Yeah.